Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nino Ashikin binti Muhammad Zamani and this is my partner.
My name is Alia Wahidah binti Abdul Rahman. Now we are going to represent regarding the factor that lead to occupational stress among academic staff in UiTM Kedah. For the introduction, occupational stress is commonly used in the organization and business industry. Occupational stress is the constant stress or progress experienced by an employee due to responsibilities, circumstances, environment, or other pressure in the workplace. There are some type of job stress, and it depends on the individual employee, their job role, company culture, and more. For the background of study, occupational stress is the stress that stems from work. Negative stress that is mental, physical, or emotional is an important factor that can threaten the harmony of the quality of life of an employee. For the problem statement, conflict between the workplace or workload and an individual ability to cope with the situation. Next is academic staff or higher education were believed to be stress-free, but recently researchers found that there is increase of job stress among them due to COVID-19 pandemic. The last is there are sudden changes in this organization, as example online distance learning. This online learning method will put pressure on academic staff, especially those who have internet problem in their place of residence. There has 5 research objectives. First is to study the level of stress among academic staff. Second is to examine the relationship between workload and occupational stress among academic staff. Third is to examine the relationship between working condition and occupational stress among academic staff. Fourth is to examine the relationship between emotional management and occupational stress among academic staff. And the last is to identify the most dominant factor that influences occupational stress among academic staff. Research questions also have 5. First is what is the level of occupational stress among academic staff? Second is what is the relationship between workload and occupational stress among academic staff? Third is what is the relationship between working condition and occupational stress among academic staff? Fourth is what is the relationship between emotional management and occupational stress among academic staff? And the last is what is the most dominant factor and influences occupational stress among academic staff? For scope of study, it has 3. Level of employees, territory, and time. For level employees, this study will be done among academic staff in public institution. For territory, this study will be done in Sungai Petani Kedah. And for the time, this study will be done within 1 year, which is 2 semesters starting October 2020 until September 2021. Definition of term. Occupational stress. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health and the International Level Office define occupational stress as physically and emotionally dangerous from the response that occur when job needs no appropriate or exceed the capabilities, resources, or need of employees. Occupational stress will occur when employees feel the need of employment exceed their own ability. Next is academic staff. Academic staff are people related to the mission and vision of the HEP. Academic staff are professional employees with the administration and type of promises related to higher education and its administration.
Okay, so next is the literature review. The dependent variable of this research study is occupational stress among academic staff. Occupational stress is generally described as the physical and emotional negative responses that arise when the job's requirements surpass the worker's skills, need, or resources. So there are a few factors that lead to occupational stress among academic staff, which is job demand, job resource, role ambiguity, role conflict, work-family conflict, workload, working condition, and emotional management. So, variable related to this study is workload, which is workload may occur when workers feel that the demand level exceeds the skills that enable them to complete the mission. So educators who are routinely burdened by heavy workload can lead them to the occupational stress. Next is working condition. Academic staff will experience occupational stress if the workplace environment is not conducive, as the absence or lack of technological facilities to teach. Next is aspect of the physical environment of one job can also be general working condition that cause occupational stress. The third one is emotional management, which is it requires behavior linked to emotional experience. This emotional management is related to the way we deal with our problem, especially in the workplace. And academic staff will usually experience occupational stress, whether it comes from student, families, or administration. Therefore, academic staff need to know how to deal with their emotion. So underlying theory in this research is person environment fit theory and the job demand control support theory. The conceptual framework in this research is uh, the dependent variable is occupational stress and the independent variable is our workload, working condition and emotional management. So research methodology, the research design, we use a quantitative technique, which is a research that can produce statistic through this use of survey research using techniques such as questionnaires or standardized interviews. So unit or level of analysis in this study, we will focus on factors that lead to occupational stress among educators in UiTM Sungai Petani Kedah, specifically designed to assess the level of occupational stress. So the questionnaire will be provided to academic staff in order to determine the individual level of workplace stress, which will be addressed on an individual basis. So the sample size of this research is the respondent to this study are 300 academic staff at University Technology Mara, and the sample size is from all faculty in UiTM Kedah. Next is sampling technique. In this research, we use stratified sampling, which is divide the population of academic staff in UiTM Kedah and select a sample from each faculty as well as conduct simple random samples in each faculty. So the measurement will be demographic details, which is gender, age, faculty, current position, ethnicity and level of education. And the scale we use is nominal scale. Next is occupational stress, which is our DV, and the scale is interval. Next is workload, working condition, and emotional management, which is our IV, which also use interval scale. So next is data collection. This method we use face-to-face method and online method to collect the data, and the questionnaire containing section A, section B, section C, section D, and section E will be forwarded to the respondent. And also questionnaire will be established in English as UiTM Kedah really importance the usage of English as communication in the university. So next is data analysis. Multiple statistical methods such as t-test, ANOVA, chi-square test, Pearson correlation, multiple regression and others have been provided by SPSS to perform this study. So the conclusion is the researchers believe that this study will not only can identify the factors of occupational stress, but also we will learn on how the academic staff overcome their stress at work. So that's all from me. Uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you for watching.